really difficult game of hot potato in which I had lost, but that seemed unfair because it was my birthday party, so shouldn't I have won the prize? To me, that game always just seemed so inherently unfair, that you passed around a ball or a machine or anything you had around the house, and the person who was left with it when the timer stopped was suddenly the person who missed out, the person who suddenly was left with the consequences despite having nothing to do with what caused them. And it's just a silly game when you're at your first grade birthday party, but all too often, it's what we all do to each other. We have responsibilities and we pass them off like hot potatoes, worried that the consequences will come to us when we started the problem in the first place. It's evident in my own country, the United States, which all too often plays hot potato with many difficult government takeovers, where we like to just come into a country, try to make it all work, and then just throw it out and just say, all right, yeah, you can deal with it now, that's your problem. The hot potato of the government takeover is one of America's favorite tools and one that has failed them many times. You look at Iran, where we tried to hot potato them. We took over their government, we put in our leader, we were like, yeah, we're done. Great job, guys, let's go. And then we left them in a position where now we're regretting it. Where now suddenly they have a massive nuclear program, where suddenly anti-American sentiment sweeps every single person in their country because we decided to just pass our responsibilities off to them. We took action but refused to accept the consequences of those actions. And outside of international relations, we do it to each other. We do it in school with group projects where we all agree that we'll do one part of it, but you know that you're going to be the only one who does it all. You know that those 3 other people who promised they'd work on that Google Doc are never going to show up. And you're going to be up until 1 a.m. doing their work. We do it in offices. You see managers passing unsuccessful projects to those who are under them, to those who can afford to lose their jobs, to those who can afford the consequences. But when we pass off responsibilities and consequences like hot potatoes, we fail to see that we pass them off to the people who really can least afford the consequences. We pass off government takeovers to governments that are weak and unstable. We pass them off to countries that can't support a new government. We pass off projects to people lower in the company because those people can afford to lose their jobs, but maybe they can't because they don't own $1 million business. They don't have the funds, they have a family. We play hot potato as a nation, we play hot potato as individuals, and it's fun when we're in first grade, but the principle that I learned that day still stands. Hot potato is unfair. Hot potato inherently hurts those who need it least. Playing hot potato with our responsibilities, with our consequences, only hurts those who need help the most. Only puts the consequences on those who did nothing, the consequences on those who had no part in creating them. We can all play hot potato at our birthday parties, and we can all have fun and silently resent the girl who sat across from you and won that coveted candy bar. But let's not play hot potato with our responsibilities in real life. Let's not play hot potatoes as nations. Let's not place our consequences on nations and governments that can't afford the consequences. Let's try to accept our consequences and remember that if you heat up the potato, you have to deal with the hot potato. Thank you.